Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, this is the July 2021 MacVoices update. I considered not doing an update this month simply because there's just not a great deal of MacVoices news. It seems that because of I'm not sure if it's the ending of the pandemic or the slowing down of the pandemic or the reigniting of the pandemic, depending on what news sites you're listening to and watching, or the fact that people are out moving around, traveling a little bit more, taking some well-deserved and much-needed vacations, or maybe just a little bit of time off. But a number of the invitations I've sent out for interviews have gone unanswered, or the responses have been, well, I'll be back in August, I'll be back in September, let's do something then, or something's not quite ready yet, we'll call you when it is. And that's fine. That's fine. MacVoices Live has been sort of filling that gap because we've had some amazing discussions with our panel, and I hope you're participating in that. The evolution of MacVoices Live has been kind of interesting. It started out as one thing, it's evolved to several different things, and for the moment has turned into a bit of a regular panel discussion of news and situations and software and anything that kind of comes down the pike that interests our panel. So I definitely encourage you, please join us on the MacVoices YouTube channel, MacVoices TV, on Tuesday nights, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, whatever the time is where you are, and join in the chat. We have an interesting little group that gathers there. We'd love to see that group grow. We'd love to have your participation as both for the topics that we're talking about, your opinions, or things you want to hear about. We're always open for ideas. Other than that, I want to make sure that everyone knows everything they can get out of MacVoices, not just our podcasts, video, and audio shows, but also MacVoices Magazine, which is free on Flipboard and on the web, but Flipboard is definitely the way to consume it. That's where I take my daily surfing and flip any articles I think that are of interest to you into MacVoices Magazine. It should be noted that I don't try to cover news in MacVoices Magazine. There are plenty of places that do that. But it's more an aggregation of articles on how to do things with your Apple technology that maybe you aren't completely familiar with. Sometimes they are things you're very familiar with and hopefully just serve as good reminders. But for the newer Mac owners and the newer Apple technology owners, they may not be aware of some of these functions or capabilities of their devices. So that's one place to go and get it. If you're a Patreon subscriber, and we'll get to that in a minute, you have access to MacVoices Live After Dark, which is the recordings of both our pre- and post shows for MacVoices Live, where we talk about whatever comes up. You just never know what's going to be in those shows. If you're watching the show live, you get to see at least some of that after the recording stops, but we also record even after the recording stops. So plenty of options there for you to check out. And that is available to all Patreon members. Also, sort of in line with MacVoices Magazine, all the articles I read each day or surf each day, I pick one, the article of the day, and I post it to our Facebook group, MacVoices Facebook group, and also both to my personal Twitter accounts and the MacVoices Twitter accounts. Hopefully that is just one more way to remind you of different things that you should be aware of and that are out there as resources for you. So please join our Facebook group and definitely follow me on Twitter and Facebook as well. Finally, we do have an Instagram, or I have an Instagram, I should say, presence, and that's where I post all the episodes of MacVoices. So if you're not getting notifications of them any other way, that's one way to do it. So with that, let's dig into this month's support report. As usual, we did not have anybody at Platinum, but at Gold, we had David G., Tim G., Chuck P., Frank P., and Webb B. At Silver, we had Chuck A., Craig A., Newt S., Michael D., Bruce E., Hal P., George R., and Daniel S. And at Bronze, we had Tom C., Greg H., Clinton M., John M., and Prop P. First of all, thanks to all our Patreon supporters. We greatly, greatly appreciate it because you help us keep MacVoices going, no matter whether it's summer or not. You also might notice that a lot of those names haven't changed. We have a lot of long-standing supporters, and I can't thank them all enough for how long they've been around and continue to be around. Hopefully we are earning their support, as I always try to do. But we'd love to have you as one of our Patreon supporters. So please check out patreon.com/MacVoices, or just visit MacVoices.com/support to see the options, the different ways that you can support the show, whether it's through affiliate links, clicking on our sponsor links, or a dozen other ways, sharing reviews on iTunes, or just inviting a friend. But one way or another, we really both wish we could get and need your support to keep MacVoices delivering what we deliver. That's it for July. I hope you're having a great summer and it's not too hot wherever you are, and that you're not experiencing some of the wildfires in the western United States. It is definitely hot here in central Pennsylvania, but that's just sort of the time of year. So I will be checking back with you in August. But until then, I will see you on the next edition of MacVoices. And as always, thanks for watching and thanks for listening. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you MacVoices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.